You said you're trying to meet as many people as possible, correct? So like, what does that look like? 5 dates a week?
Honestly, sometimes I go on 2 or 3 a day.
2 or 3 a day? Okay.
I wish we still had speed dating going on. I think that would be interesting. You know, when you sit like in front of the other person for like 5 minutes, if you're not really enjoying it, then you switch to the next seat and there's another person.
Oh, like speed dating?
Yes, that's
like an
what
event.
I said. Mm-hmm.
They still have those, I reckon.
Where?
I
Can you
I
give
don't
me a
know.
link to that?
What's that?
I would be interested to do that.
You'd be interested to do speed dating?
Yeah.
So, for example, in the past 2 weeks, how many dates have you been on?
Whew. Past 2 weeks,
Yeah.
probably 20.
20 dates? Okay.
Around that. Well,
What about
date
past-
means with different people.
What
With
do
the
you mean?
same person.
Yeah,
Can we
that's a good
define a
question.
date?
How about with different people?
Yeah, about
Meeting
20.
and to clarify, because I feel like, for example, if you were to just have a guy over to your house, or a guy, you went to a guy's house, he went to yours. Is that redundant? Did I just say the same thing? Am I having a stroke? Okay. Let's just say you spent time with somebody and you had a romantic interest in them. We'll count that as a date. Because some people only consider a date if we went out to a public venue, such as we went to get dinner.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't feel any romantic interest towards any of them because it's hard for me to feel that before meeting them in real life.
So just to
Maybe
clarify.
you can tell us what you think a date is. What's a date?
You might not have had romantic interest, but the context with which you were meeting, it wasn't like a business meeting. It wasn't just friends hanging out. It was a guy, maybe he was interested in you, asking you out, and you were going to meet him to see if there was a potential whatever.
Yes, I think from their side, most of it is exactly as you describe it. From my side, it's a 50-50. It could be something that results in romance and sex. It could be something that goes just into friendship and networking. I don't know until I meet the person.
Okay, so how frequently are you going on these dates?
Every
We'll just
day.
call them dates. Every day?
Not today because I made it to the show.
Sure, yeah, you came to this show. But 20 dates in the past 2 weeks.
What? Wait, what? What are you? I get the distinct feeling that you're totally full of shit about basically everything that you're saying. You go on dates every single day?
Yes.
Yes.
Andrew.
And what's the context behind that? You say, like, I have to meet a person and then I go on a date with the person that I meet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you setting up these blind dates?
Probably dating apps, right?
A lot of people message me on Instagram.
Okay.
So I just go off that. I look at their profile. I see if there's anything interesting in terms of their looks, personality, anything I can connect with the person. And then I just pick one of those because they usually want to meet. So
in the current dating climate, Andrew, with like dating apps, social media, it's super easy. Granted, she's an attractive woman, and I mean, I would argue even a average-looking woman, if she was so inclined, could have a date every single day of the week if she wanted to.
You're going on dates every day?
yes, would you like to go on a date with me, Andrew?
Nope. But you do go on dates every single day? Really?
Yes. What makes you not believe that?
I don't know. It seems because I'm really trained very well in spotting when people are full of shit and they're liars.
From
because,
military?
No, not from the military, but from years of doing very high-level skilled debates, right?
Okay.
Because you're so evasive at almost every point about what you're being asked, I feel like almost nothing that you're telling us is accurate or true. And I don't know what the kind of gig is yet, but we'll see as we go through.
I think you generalizing too much.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, I've been with her the past week. She goes on a lot of dates.
Every
What's
day.
the point of me lying? I think it makes me look, if anything bad. I was judged
What's
by
the point
that.
of being evasive?
Well, about my age, because I plan to have like a big release about it later on, and obviously
Is that-
benefit from it.
I've never heard a content creator.
Age
okay,
reveal party.
age reveal, like face reveals I've heard about, but like
Accent reveal party
It's gonna
too?
be new. It's gonna be big.
yeah,
Accent reveal party, age reveal party, like, I don't know.
Modest Hikima donated $200. Brixon, I see you have reverted to the mentally ill again. Speed dating is still going on, you just aren't a part of it. Brain dead 304. Andrew, welcome back. Keep representing. Why are you still in US?
I think this is directed towards you, Myra.
Mira.
Oh, okay. Excuse me, Mira. I'll probably fuck it up again, so feel free to correct me.
It's
Got
okay,
a
Brian.
terrible memory. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do you want to answer? Why are you still in the U.S.?
Oh, I thought he was asking Andrew why he's still in the U.S. Why am I still in U.S.? Well, that's because it's getting cold, and being in Europe right now is not best time.
Okay.
Very simple.
All right. So, okay, you're going 20 dates a week. Or sorry. You've in the past 2 weeks, you've gone on 20 dates. Sometimes you're going on. What's the most amount of dates you've gone on in one day?
Probably 3. Although I
3.
do not like the word date because, like I said, for me, it could be anything like friendship coming out of it, some type of business opportunity. I feel like the date always means that it has to be something romantic or sexual coming out of it.
No,
But
not
then
necessarily.
you're just hanging out, right?
Like this-
Dating is for. I feel like dating is for romance. So if you're not dating to connect romantically, then you're just hanging out.
It feels like kind of avoiding the spirit of the question, right? So it's not. He's not asking for like business engagements and things like that, but rather. Brian,
Oh, well, what? It's not clear to me if these are necessarily going into them business meetings or like meeting with friends. What she is saying is that she's meeting men who they've shown a romantic interest in her, but I feel like she's saying that she will not consider it a date if she doesn't have a mutual interest in them, but that is not what would constitute a date, because you can go on a date as a woman and by the end of the date determine you have no romantic interest in the person. That
But you
doesn't
still
mean
went on the date.
you still went on the
Yeah.
date.
That's why it doesn't make any sense.
So okay, we don't really need to address we'll just assume that these are dates that you're going on. But okay, so in 2023, how many dates have you been on, do you think?
Well, this is my recent fuckboy stage.
Oh, it's recent. Okay.
I started like maybe 2 months ago.
2 months ago. Okay.
Before then, I was
so
just streaming at home. Caving.
I see. Okay. So let's dig into the fuckboy 2-month thing. What's going on? Excuse me. Let me be more specific. How many dates have you gone on in the past 2 months?
Probably about 100.
Okay. 100. Any prospects or not so much? Me?
I have to admit, sorry, it's your helmet collection. It's very fascinating.
Okay.
So I have to admit that LA scenery is not really my cuppa. It's not really
Wait,
my
your
cup of tea.
What's not your cup of tea?
What I noticed in terms of man in LA, it's not quite something I'm interested in so far, just generally speaking. So they're either really, if I had to categorize it, I feel like they're either really successful men that are not very attractive physically, or the ones that are not successful, they're just trying to make it. They're fairly attractive, I suppose, physically, but there's just not enough there. They're just kind of trying too hard sometimes to try to appear somebody they're not, which is understandable. They're just trying to make it.
Wait,
I
what
suppose.
is not your cup of tea?
Um,
I just missed I didn't hear
Men in
the
LA.
Men in LA. Okay, I
Yes.
see. Okay, so past 2 months, fuckboy phase, 100 dates. Has there ever been, of the 100, these are all like first dates, to be clear, correct?
Pretty much
Like 100 dates with 100 men.
different
men,
Yes,
yeah.
I feel like I'm in a
Have there-
therapy session.
Have you been on any second dates at all, or no?
I have.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Have any of these in the past 2 months turned into like a situationship or a talking stage, or
Can you
didn't?
define situationship?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's necessary, but
English is my second language.
mine too.
Oh, yours is very
Yeah,
good.
I'll disclose I was born in France, so
French. If French
yeah.
language is your first language.
yes,
It's
French is my
beautiful.
first language. Yeah.
Wow.
I speak it about as well as a kangaroo, though. So